Hello, my name is Johan Sundstein, also known as N0tail or Big Daddy. You might know me from Dota. I've played almost my entire adult life. I'm originally from Denmark, grew up playing Game Boy on the PARI, ended up winning world championships in my video game.
OG, I am two-time TI champion!
Now I stopped playing and I moved to Portugal and I'm enjoying life. So I recently wrote a book with a friend of mine, Jacob. The book is about my life. More specifically, it's about my esport life. It's taken focus on I guess, what led me here throughout my career and also what my career taught me. And the book's name is Character Over Talent, or Character Beats Talent, either way. In Danish, it's a Karakter slår talent. And yeah, the title implying that I don't think talent is the most valuable. I think there's a lot more to it. There's a lot that goes into an individual success and especially a team success. So yeah, that's my newest project. I wanted to write this book for a long time. I've kind of jokingly said it, I think since I almost got into esport and like it became a thing, that I wanted to write a book on all the stuff that happens and how unprofessional it is and sometimes how maybe people have a misconception on the way things really are. That was definitely a part motivator, but also I wanted to really share valuable lessons or something to me that was very meaningful and maybe people can relate or one day will relate, because I think I've had a lot of these types of epiphanies where you've heard it before, you've seen it before type of thing. A lot of these lessons are cross-learned. It's not just bound to the game, it's not just bound to esport, but I think it's more to do with humans and our way of being, but also our way of working together. In the beginning of the book, it kind of jumps into a moment, into what might seem obvious, but it is still to me one of the biggest moments in my life. It's when we were winning the first world championship. It's been, the almost lifelong goal. My entire career was almost based on winning this or winning something like this, a world championship, showing the world you're the best. And in my case, having failed so many times already, it just meant that much more. Yeah, it's a special moment and I think a very good place to start. Why start there? Well, to be honest, it wasn't just up to me. I'm not one to kind of decide what's nice for a reader. So this is credit to Jacob. We spoke about how to perhaps start a book like this. And I know that he's been thinking long and hard about the right way to do it. So when he mentioned this to me, I mean, I couldn't say no. I think for me, it's really good. I also think in today's world, we want a really good pilot episode. We want a really good chapter one. We need something really captivating. So it makes sense to start in one of the highlights, in one of the highlights of my life. Yeah, growing up for me was very good. I don't think anybody has a perfect life. You do, I guess, if you have the right perspective. In that sense, I think my life is perfect. But I think like many other kids in Denmark, I had a nice school, nice childhood, very good classmates. We got very close and we bonded a lot over 10 years. I wasn't there from the beginning because our class split up. So I went into like a third grade and then we went on until ninth grade. I made some lifelong friends here. I went to a lot of LAN cafes because that was a thing back in the day in Copenhagen. I think it's less so now. My parents have always been supportive. They've been worried for me. Obviously, I think anyone should or would have in this situation. Esport wasn't a thing and I was playing a lot of video games and I told them one day I'm going to quit school and pursue this. But they were always very supportive, just a bit worried, but not too worried, I think. I got to see a lot, I got to travel a lot, I got to have I think a different life than most kids that were my age back then. I didn't go to my first music event until I was like 28 years old, or first festival, I should say. Whereas I think most kids, they kind of knock that off the chart before they turn 18. So yeah, I've had a rather unique childhood in many ways, but also similar in many others. But it's been very positive, very good. It's been nice with unconditional love and support. Yeah, blessed and lucky and happy. So I have to shout out to all the friends and shout out to my mom and dad. Good job. I think most kids or most people would want to see their parents together and happy. So when my parents divorced, obviously I'm like, why? Why not stay together? Why not be happy? But I think it's a good lesson in life too. It doesn't always work out like that. And it was for the best. So hard at first, then better. And then you move on, I think they stayed together for quite a bit longer than they normally would have because they had the kids. So valiant effort. Yeah, I'm very happy. I think my parents were also honest with their own emotions when it was hardest, and then they were also honest with their kids when that must have been even harder. Yeah, I mean, kids smell the bullshit from far away. Everybody knows there's trouble when there's trouble, but I don't think it's every parent that actually tells their kid about it or tells their children about it. So I think it was really helpful for us because, yeah, it helps you understand your own emotions, right? The professional landscape for me at that time, when I was still in school, about to drop, and things were kind of heating up a bit in the esport world, we would have maybe 3 or 4 tournaments worth 10 to 50,000, and then there would be a small salary, like nothing more than I think $200 to $400, and we'd sometimes only be playing for, you know, less money, but then some peripheral, but there wasn't enough peripheral for everybody, so you get one headset and one mousepad, you figure it out. So it was really not that great, but for somebody my age, because we were also winning those tournaments, which had like 10 grand, sometimes 30 grand or 40 grand, it was like nice, you know, especially as somebody who's never had any money, or like, yeah, it was fun stuff. So for me, it was, I had already almost made it, but in reality, or like looking back at it, it was so-so, you know, you could almost get as much studying in Denmark. Yeah, so I still had that, but it was heating up, like I said, because before that, it was nothing, or just $1,000 or something like that for an online tournament. It didn't take me long to win my first tournament or win my first trophy, so to say. I mean, we didn't maybe get a physical trophy, but we won the first cup, big Heroes of N0tail Cup that they hosted online for like the biggest prize pool ever. Yeah, so I think that was less than half a year since I'd made like my first or joined my first real pro project in Han. So I went to my first offline event in Heroes of N0tail with my team Fnatic, and I believe we won. I'm pretty sure we won. We had BYOC round, so we had to bring laptops. So we got laptops from Fnatic. We had to go set them up. We had people like pushing the chairs and stuff in the first stages of the tournament. And yeah, I think we just stomped our way through. We were very dominant in this game. I was very dominant in this game, as in I think we were the best from the beginning, after we took off, and we were the best until we moved to Dota. Yeah, I mean, the journey to Dota is, there's obviously something really colossal that happened with the first international. People didn't really believe it was real at first because of the prize pool being $1 million to the winner. It's like 1.6 maybe prize pool, and the winner gets a whole $1 million. Back then, I think the biggest Han tournament had maybe been 100K, maybe a bit more, I'm not really sure, but this was like too good to be true kind of thing. And I came from Dota before I played Han, as in I played so much Dota 1, I played a ton, and I used to play also during my days of playing Han for the most part. So it was very exciting to see this new Dota come out, huge backing, but like it looked like the game you wanted to be pro in because the prize money was that big, competition was so fierce, and it was also very dear to my heart. So it was a bit of a process, as in it didn't just happen overnight. But I think we all just felt that we're headed this way, also because Heroes of N0tail was getting worse. But yeah, we were abandoning the game that we were super dominant at. Like, we were almost too dominant, it was almost sometimes boring. We didn't feel challenged, and we felt so on top of the world, and we thought, yeah, for sure, we can do the same in this game. Like, nothing's gonna stop us. Easier said than done, for sure. But yeah, long story short, I think we were all headed this way because the quality of the game and the size of the competition. I think I have only one X factor that makes me the Dota player I am. I think there's many things that make me a really good Dota player, but I think there's only one X factor, and I think it's just that I really want it so bad, or wanted it so bad. I don't really right now, which is why I'm not playing, but I used to be the one who wanted it the most in my world. The sacrifices most, if not all, pro Dota players make is time, and with that time comes whatever you wanted to maybe do with that time. Like, that's what you're sacrificing. And for me, it was, I think, certain things that maybe bring me stability or have some type of daily, weekly life stability because I really wanted plants. I really wanted a dog. I mean, there's many things I wanted to do, but these were like two specific things that I really, really wanted, but it wasn't really feasible. It wasn't really a thing. Relationships were also a complete mess because of I think the time commitment. So yeah, it was, I think, a lot of enjoyable human activities that I wasn't really able to do or that I wasn't really partaking. And eventually I think it was building up in me also that I need this, I want this, I have to try this. For me, I can't balance it. There's one or the other, or there's only Dota if you choose to go Dota. But I think it's the nature of competition. That's what it asks of you when you're a competitor. I believe it branches into anything. You will have to sacrifice more and keep doing that, pushing yourself. So yeah, that was the hardest thing for me, to sacrifice everything and still lose for a while. But obviously, it's also just what we do. I mean, it's what you have to do when you compete. So bittersweet, but definitely hard.